Decisions Live.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And a big round of applause to all of ye. Like, maybe you've seen what happened this week when a few people didn't get tickets, you know? It didn't go down too well.
That Lewis will never be the same. Thank you very much for being here. All the money tonight goes to a good cause. As you can see, there is a stack of raffle prizes over there. So if you buy a ticket, you will basically win a prize. If it's, you know, it's kind of like being in, I don't know,
the Oprah show. Everybody gets a car.
There you go.
There's no cars, but everyone gets a prize, essentially.
And you probably shouldn't drive after most of those prizes.
No, absolutely not. And like, if you don't win, just remember, like, you get to be in our presence, so you're welcome.
And there's loads of free drink, and just keep going. And we get funnier the more you drink. So that's kind of the main thing.
Are we good to go, Dan? Like, officially, will we use the clipboard?
Yeah.
You can do the clipboard and I'll do the intro.
So
we're going to do this to the camera and pretend like you're not here. Watch this. It's like,
and then give it, but then we want you to give a big cheer as well, like, because, you know. So, Poor Decisions, live episode, take one. Oh, it's only going to be one take. Yeah, that's good. We should probably do more live shows.
We should. And welcome to the first live show of Poor Decisions. My name is Ronan Collins, or Whiskey for Breakfast.
My name is Michael Cowman, or The Cowman Show. That's Ross Peevers. We live in his world. But yeah, so thank you very much for being here once again.
Yeah, so for those who are watching it on YouTube around the world, maybe in cinemas, who knows where you're watching this right now. This is live, so who knows what will go wrong.
Probably most things. We were asked earlier, were you doing an actual live broadcast? We said no because we actually don't know what we're going to say, so it's probably easier just to record it and cut it out later.
These notes just make me look like professional.
You're not. Tonight, the agenda, what are we here for, Ronan? I mean, we're here for Movember.
We are, yeah. And there's loads going on for Movember, which we'll talk to you about in a minute. We've got drinks brands doing fantastic cocktails.
Yeah.
We'll do our usual like little riff. There might be a challenge or two for ye all in the audience.
And plenty of prizes.
Plenty of prizes.
So heckling is encouraged, but you know, so feel free to go ahead with that.
We have a special guest though as well.
We have a special guest, yeah.
Not us. We're not. I know, but we're not.
Okay. Who is it?
Darren Cave.
Darren, give us a wave, Darren. Former Ulster and Ireland international. He was Ulster's most capped player till last week. And
now he's here.
It's been a rough week.
He's also the only man in here with a moustache who's actually not doing Movember. But we'll be talking to Darren in a wee bit. We'll ask him some questions about his rugby career and now as a whiskey owner.
Yeah, and so we're going to taste his whiskey tonight.
Fellow whiskey owner.
Fellow whiskey owner. You know? Yeah. In case you didn't know, myself and Ronan, we own a brand together. What's it called, Ronan?
It's called Redacted.
Yeah, and bottles are available for purchase here tonight.
Yeah, until our cease and desist comes through.
Because, there is another brand. Anyway.
And you're drinking. What are we drinking tonight, Michael?
What are we drinking? That only makes sense to people from Belfast. So the first drink you're going to have tonight, it's an O'Driscoll's Old Fashioned, made with PX Sherry and walnut bitters. So O'Driscoll's is a company based down in Wexford. All right. So
set up by a rugby player as well.
Set up by
Brian O'Driscoll.
Well, no.
Oh.
So Tyg Furlong,
right,
is an investor in said rugby company, but it was set up by the Stafford company, Stafford Bonded down in Wexford, who are around about 130 years.
Right. Rugby players love getting involved in whiskey.
It's a bit passé now, isn't
it? It's a bit boring.
But yeah, so the company was set up about 130 years ago, Stafford Bonded, and O'Driscoll's whiskey then is out about the last 6 or 8 months. And I mean, full disclosure, they now pay my wages.
Yeah, so. I was going to be like, when did you start? Last Monday, he started.
So they gave us some free stock, and it's delicious, isn't it?
I haven't actually had it yet. No, I'm fine. So I'll take your word for it. So what I'm drinking is the White Hag. What's the stout called? White Hag.
It's the White Hag.
Huh? Darkness Stout. And it is delicious. Now, anyone who watched episode 2, it's really hard to find, but it was the one that we did in Sligo. The reason it's so hard to find is because Dan didn't record the sound.
So there's a load of old men walking around in the background. I think there's a woman with a Labrador at one point.
Yeah.
And like he still feel like he's actually, that is a look of shame.
Yeah.
And he's felt bad ever since, so we probably shouldn't bring it up anymore.
But White Hag did donate loads of beer for that episode. We drank White Hag beers in a field.
Yeah, we drank them on a bus.
We did.
We drank them on a train. No, sorry, that's
we actually drank them really early that day. We started about 10:30, and when we got to Sligo, and we were like, "Fuck, should we start drinking beers?" And we were like, "What should we have?" And the reason that we started drinking this early, right, is because Dan was late, the producer. So, so he thought he could dig me, but we have way more. This is all about Dan.
Yeah.
Really.
Whereas, like, Agustina, who does the majority of the work, to be fair to her, like, you know.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
No, to be fair, look, we couldn't have made this happen without the work of our fabulous producers and all the team here at Drink In tonight, and everybody who's dug in, guys behind the bar as well, giving us a dig out tonight.
Well, we won't give them a full round of applause until they don't fuck up, and at the end, I'm sure you earn your applause. All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to hospitality. But yeah, White Hag sponsored this. They also do the Hagstravaganza every year.
Which is probably the biggest beer festival in the country.
Yeah, it's super cool. We haven't been asked to speak yet at that, but I'm sure it'll come down the line at some point. And then we also have Steph from the Dead Rabbit. Yeah, I wasn't sure what brand I was going to say there. Who is going to be doing a drink later on as well.
And then we'll have the Outwalker whiskey with Darren. And then we'll finish up with a Rebel City cocktail from Rebel City in Cork.
Yeah, cool.
And as you're all obviously massive fans of the podcast, we don't need to tell you anything about Rebel City, so that's fine.
Yeah, and the wonderful guys from Mocara brought down their new beer, which I haven't had the chance to try yet, but it's down there. I see a few there, so we will go through that at some point.
Yeah.
Do drink water as well. You know,
because there's 5 drinks minimum, and there's probably more if you want them. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, what are we going to talk about?
Well, right, so I've actually wanted to do this topic for a while in one of the podcasts.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, right, and again, maybe some of you have seen this, but did you know that they're trying to reintroduce wolves into Ireland? Woo!
Right, okay.
So essentially, right, so it's happening in a few other European countries, but because Ireland is an island, they can't go anywhere. Yeah, exactly.
They don't go abroad.
Yeah, I know, and they just haven't left for 800 years. But essentially, right?
That was quick.
Oh yeah. Up north, 50% of the room would have cheered at that.
Down here, they're like Darren's in the back of the room and he's a lot bigger than us. We don't know what, we don't know what he
They're
thinks.
also like, can we laugh at that? Do we laugh? I don't know what's going on.
So
because in Europe, the wolves can just like integrate into society, but just moving around. But for Ireland, we actually have to bring them over.
Okay. And they take children.
Yeah, it's like, could you imagine like walking around
and there's just a wolf going around with like a little child and it's mate.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's the first time that happens. The wolves are gone. So let's just like maybe we don't know that much about wolves.
I'm Team Wolf.
I know you are. Yeah, I'm Team Edward.
Yeah.
So, do you have an actual topic you'd like to talk about?
Apparently not. Go on, tell us something like the Dan cleared earlier and signed off on.
So welcome to Smithfield. So you're in Smithfield here. So I know we have a couple of locals, couple of natives. Yeah. So this area of the city, do you know much about this area of the city?
I know Smithfield pretty well. I used to live in Smithfield. There's a hostel around the corner, Generator Hostel. Does anyone know Yeah.
You used to live in Generator Hostel?
I lived there for just under 5 weeks. Yeah.
You are more of a vagrant than like.
The reason I actually came back from South Africa, I was a surf coach in South Africa, and I came back and I wanted to be a bartender. And is Richard here? Richard? No, apparently not. So I noticed that he ran a bartending school, and I wanted to learn how to be a bartender.
And what was that? What was that bartending school called?
Dublin Bartender School. So this isn't where I learned, or essentially where people learned off me. But it was down by Fallon's where we did our first episode. Yeah. So I lived in Smithfield for about 5 weeks in the Generator hostel.
How was that?
I don't know. I was reasonably drunk the whole time. Then years later when I worked for Jameson, came back obviously quite a lot. Oh, so yeah, well, I mean, Jameson is probably one of the big draws nearby. Yeah, so it's an Irish whiskey. He didn't bother sponsoring. So fuck man. We do have a few prizes over there. Oh, do you? Oh, yeah. Thanks guys. Yeah, thanks Jameson.
So yeah, Jameson. I mean, Bow Street Distillery is around the corner.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's there since what, 1766?
Well, yeah, so underneath the name Jameson, 1780, because that's when John Jameson and Margaret Haig moved from Scotland. Spoiler alert, Jameson is Scottish. Moved across and took over that distillery.
Right.
So
as
there
people
was,
coming from Scotland tend to do.
yeah, but Haig, that's the David Beckham whiskey.
Was the David Beckham whiskey.
Yeah, oh yeah, for those who don't know, he left. Apparently there's another whiskey endorsement coming up. You know, we can't say much, but, you know, maybe he's endorsing some cool new indie brand.
He's not. Yeah, so, I mean, Jameson Distillery in Bow Street, so produced until about 1972, 73. And then all the production moved down to the New Middleton Distillery, as it's still known.
The aquarium.
The aquarium.
Because it was underwater for so long.
Right, good thing there's no people in Cork from the...
I know, it is bad, like... worse than the Lewis joke?
No, but to be fair, because there's no one in Cork, from Cork, in the room, because if there was, you'd hear them right now.
I was like, oh...
like whales singing.
You weren't there, boy.
Oh, what'd you say that? You know what I mean? And so forth. And then Smithfield, one of the other things it's famous for.
Smithfield...
I'm from Wexford. What do we love in Wexford?
Strawberries.
Yeah, go on.
Hurling.
Yeah, go on.
Each other. Ponies?
Yeah, horses. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, big.
That's not what Wexford's known for. That's like Kildare.
No, Wexford is quite. Yeah, it's horse. Anyway, so the horse market, the horse fair, used to be in Smithfield on the first Sunday of every month.
No way.
Until 2003, I think, when they passed, or 2013, I think they passed a new law. They could only happen twice a year, because there was some incidents. We won't get into, but in one incident, a 11-year-old was sold a horse for €8.
And outside of Mallow, that's like mad,
yeah,
isn't it?
like outside of like Mallow or like, you know, I don't know, Ballyhonus or somewhere like that. You know what I mean? That was one of the reasons it stopped. And then another horse got loose down the quays and like ran into someone's car.
No way.
Yeah, so they kind of stopped doing that. But for hundreds of years, it was a big thing, horse fair.
Yeah.
In Smithfield. But like, I don't know, you'd never get them into the fresh market now, like, you know? So that was one of the things.
That's cool.
Yeah, ish. And then
we kind of stretch along down the quay. That's kind of where more.
Yeah,
more...
it's that. This is the market area from here to like Capel Street.
Yeah,
is kind of the market area. So like out the back of the hacienda. Anyone who has ever been to the hacienda? Oh yeah, there you go. Which is apparently Matthew McConaughey's favorite pub.
Yeah, have we all heard that story?
We're not telling that story. So the hacienda, Matthew McConaughey's favorite pub, and behind that is where the fruit market was. So if anyone went to Miel Flower, which was the festival down there recently, that's the kind of area. This is kind of the market district, I suppose.
Yeah.
You had all the fruit markets and all that kind of crack, and hence one of our favourite things, early houses.
Early houses, yeah. That wasn't in my notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
You can see he fucking struggled, yeah.
There's a couple down there. I was like... Are we going to say our favourite thing? There's cameras here.
The two girls are sitting right there. Yeah, no, so the early houses, so that's why there is a tradition of them in this area.
And early houses, for those who don't know, essentially shift workers, dock workers, etc., had a place to drink. Not all round, like it's not a 24-hour bar, but it's like 22 hours.
Yeah, well, I mean, they generally would open at kind of 7 in the morning for people coming off shift. So the people working in the markets, dockers, you know what a docker is?
Yeah. They work in the docks.
Yeah.
Martin shop.
A jarvey. Do you know what a jarvey is?
A jarvey.
Anyone know what a jarvey is? Horse and cart. Spot on, yeah. You know,
nice.
The lad from Sligo will get that. And then a drover. Do you know what a drover is? I'll throw that one out to the audience. Drover. Livestock. Yeah, used to drive the livestock up through the streets of Dublin. But yeah, so they were the three of the main professions that used to kind of frequent the early houses around the area. Dublin is a different place at 8 o'clock in the morning than an early house.
Yeah, it's scary. Stretching down to what Lonely Planet named the coolest street in the world last year. Capel Street.
Yeah, the only place within, 10 metres, the great saying, you can buy dim sum, a chandelier and a strap-on. Within about 10 metres, yeah. So,
where do you get the dim sum?
Like, where would you get the dim sum?
But we know where you get it.
It is a very cool street. Is it one of the coolest streets in the world? Like, no, it's not. Yeah, there's a very, no, it's not. But it's nice sometimes.
Is it?
It's all right.
Yeah. Then you have stony batter the other side. It's cool and hip.
It's very hip, yeah.
Well done. Someone there.
I can afford to live in stony batter. Look at you. Huh? Tell us about your wealth. I mean, that's kind of Smithfield. That's kind of the area, I guess.
Yeah, we've ticked off all the points.
Yeah, did you go through all that?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Happy enough.
When we film the real podcast, we usually have a break between each section and I go back to the notes.
Yeah, because Ronan can only operate. He's kind of like a goldfish. He can only operate for a certain amount of time. And then he kind of forgets and goes, all right, what was next?
People love goldfish.
Yeah, they do, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, that's Smithfield. That's the area we're in. We're in the drinking digital office. We're in Dublin Bar Academy. So this is here for about 8-9 years then. Yeah, 8-9 years. Well, don't hit the table. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funnily enough, if anyone's actually watched our podcast, you'll know I do this quite a lot. So we actually put special felt on the bottom of my microphone to stop me doing it.
And I mean this in the most literal way. That was a special need, right? Mine doesn't have it.
I'm very expressive. That's all it is.
Does anyone have any questions? Anyone want to interact in any way to this point?
No? Okay, cool. That's
Class.
Fuck.
Go on, Jen.
Did you coordinate your outfits?
Do we coordinate our outfits?
You picked my outfit. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's the plaid on plaid. Right?
Yeah, lumberjack chic.
Well, we know who we're appealing to. Look at our target market out here. Like, you know what I mean? You can see a couple of...
Actually, do you know what, Jen? That's a great turning point. I'll just take this shirt off.
Oh. She actually wasn't tipped off to do this. Now that costs extra, and when the raffle tickets come around, you'll be richly rewarded.
Grant, so do you want another drink before the next section?
Yeah, can somebody throw me down?
Two Mocara beers.
Oh, two
we
Mocara
haven't had any of
beers,
them yet. Yeah.
So Mocara, for anybody that doesn't know, is a lovely bar in Drogheda. Dundalk. I'm on the town. And episode, what was it, 5, 6?
3?
3? Fucking
3.
hell, that's a long time ago. I mean, we've become so big since then. We're doing live podcasts now. Thanks very much. So the lads just literally released this, today?
Nice.
What is it, lads?
It's a lager. The eternal cycle of pints. Loads going on here.
How's your rudimentary Irish coming?
We recommend...
Lager Nadini, yeah, the people's lager.
Yeah. The beer boys at Mocara have brewed and drank long and hard to bring you Ireland's most suppable lager. We recommend opening with your belly button and to grip and sip till you've had your fill.
Nabucalini Bjor, the beer boys. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's fair play.
Class,
Cheers, thanks
yeah.
very much.
Sláinte.
Yeah.
So now, essentially, what I'm going to do, because we're here for Movember, your tickets have raised so much money already.
We're on about 1,800 quid already for tonight. So before we sell any raffle tickets or anything, so that's pretty good.
But yeah, so we have spoken about this, and this is kind of when we slow the evening down a wee bit for an interview, and I'm essentially going to interview Michael because Movember, you're a Movember ambassador, and there's a lot going on because this is all you and Dan essentially set up tonight, but you spearheaded the evening to do a Movember night.
Yeah, and I mean Ronan's the talent, he thinks, so he just turns up obviously. But yeah, we decided we'd do something for Movember. So every year for Movember, for the last 3 or 4 years, I've tried to do something for Movember. And this year we just with the live podcast, it seemed to make sense. So yeah, and raise some money for a good cause.
Why are we doing Movember?
Yeah, so I mean, anybody who hasn't already heard me talk about my balls in November, here it is. So yeah, when I was 20, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. And so I guess so that's 13 years ago now. So for the first few years, didn't really do a whole lot around the whole Movember thing. But for the last 3-4 years, really tried to do something, raise some money and do a bit of good to, outweigh all the evil on the other side.
Absolutely. So before we get into the great work you've done over the past 3 years, we are going to bring it way back 13 years ago. How did you find out you had testicular cancer?
So I was in a nightclub in Galway. I think it was Carbon, if that's still there. It's probably, yeah. So the main message here is don't go to Carbon. So I was in a nightclub in Galway. We were on a college night out, and what was I, 20? And so I was in like second year in college. And one of the lads came up, and the funny thing at the time was to hit somebody in the balls and run off. So the lads from Dundalk, like, yeah, it's gas, isn't it? So yeah, one of the lads came up to me and he hit me a slap, and like obviously it's gonna hurt, but I was doubled over, like I was in bits, right? And so that was fine. And I kind of was like, oh, that doesn't feel great. So I ended up having to go home off the night out. And, you know, bar I was falling asleep in a nightclub. I wasn't going home off the night out. There's a few lads here who have personal experience with that. So went home from the nightclub. Woke up the next day. Well, I mean, you could say I knew something wasn't right, you know? When one of your, you know, is a lot bigger than the other. Like, you know, you can kind of go, right, something has gone wrong here. So after the obligatory amount of time as a 20-year-old going, sure, it'll go back to normal. You know, put a bag of ice on it there to be fine. I went to the doctor and they basically started doing scans. And so started doing scans, and after reasonably quickly, probably after about a week, they said, look, we're going to have to take that out. And so went to a surgeon, sat down with the surgeon, and he was, you know, they're very matter of fact. They are, they're surgeons. They do this shit all the time. And so said to me, he's like, look, we're going to have to take out your testicle. And it's the left one for those who are interested. So he said, we're going to have to take out your testicle. And I said, okay, yeah, fair enough. I kind of nearly resigned myself to it at that point already. So I was in second year in college. I was a few weeks before my final exams, and or final second year exams or whatever. And they were like, we're going to have to take out your testicle. I said, yeah, fine, okay. And at some point down the line, we'll put a prosthesis in. And I was like, oh, no. He'll put a prosthesis in today. He was like, well, no, you see, Mr. Cowman, the thing is that there's a higher level chance of infection if we put one back. And I said, no, what you're going to do now is I'm not walking around here, you know, unbalanced without two testicles. So you're going to put one in. You're going to put it in today. And he just laughed at me. He went, okay, you know, fair enough. And like, I'm not, I suppose I would avoid conflict, you know. That's what I have Jenny here in the front row to do for me. You know, she conducts most of my fights and she fights with me. So yeah, I would tend to avoid conflict, but I was very, very much that day. I was like, no, I'll have two balls, and that's what I'll have. Like.
So that was just like straight up to the surgeon. This is going to happen. This is how it's going to happen. Which is like genuinely, no pun, but that's so ballsy as a 20-year-old. Just we didn't even rehearse that joke. Went down brilliant. 20-year-old, you've just been diagnosed with testicular cancer. You told, like, this is going to happen. The surgery's going to take place. That's obviously very daunting, but, you know, you took it head on. Then chemotherapy was going to happen. And, like, we haven't never really, even as close mates, like, delved into, like, that. You did a lot of chemo.
Yeah, like, well, you know, what's the definition? You don't really get a touch of chemo, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, so, and to be fair, like when you talk to a lot of people, and it's more common than you think that like somebody had a testicle taken out. It's called an orchidectomy. Again, it's just so
I know that's what happened in SeaWorld.
just so you're learning.
Orca whales.
Yeah, they got it. It's called an orchidectomy. You get it taken out.
Is that what they call it in SeaWorld?
And a lot of people. Free Willy. Oh wait, hold on. So a lot of people have come up to me since and gone like, oh, I had it up to that point. I had it to the surgery. So they got it taken out, they got it one replaced or whatever. But a lot of people didn't have to go through the chemo. And so testicular but yeah, they came to me and said, look, just going to have to get chemo. And I was like, okay. And luckily, in a way, it was right before the summer. So I didn't have to miss any college or anything, but it was about 4 months of chemotherapy over the course of the summer. And so you go in, I think it was a week on, 2 weeks off was the way I went in. So it was like doing shift work or something.
On the oil rig?
I was out on the rig, yeah. I mean, that would have been a better story. But yeah, so chemotherapy, and I remember being in the hospital or whatever, and like everybody else in the ward was about 65, like, and there's me sitting there being like, and they wouldn't even, I remember the World Cup, the Soccer World Cup for in South Africa was on. Remember they had all the vuvuzelas and that, and the owl lads wouldn't even let me turn on the sound because like, I can't bear the noise of the vuvuzelas, and I was like, oh, fuck me, I just want to watch like something. But yeah, so did that, but progressively, like it's funny, like you know, because I was 20, so I was quite young. It was a lot easier to go through when you're younger, I guess. And like after the first couple, I'd be coming home for those 2 weeks. I'd be going to the gym. I'd be doing whatever. And by the fourth one, I was fucked. Like I was absolutely wiped out. And then obviously lost my hair, all that kind of crack. Didn't lose my eyebrows because that, you know, and I was quite glad about that really, because I, you know, lost my hair. Not all of it has come back yet. Any day now.
It's just the wrong way around.
Yeah, I'm only ginger down here. But yeah, so that was kind of the crack, and did 4 months of what's called BEP, I think it's BEP, BEP chemo. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah. So did that, and yeah, and that was the crack. But I mean, then, but it was a long process. I kind of knew I was going to be okay. I mean, there was a 98% like you're going to be fine kind of thing. So, you know, I like those odds.
Yeah.
You know. If somebody told me I have a 98% chance of winning £1 million tonight, I'd be like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm happy enough with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean,
and like at the end, the last day of chemo, because I know you love drinking, right? You do. Like actually more than me. The only person I know that loves drinking more than you is Matt. Is sitting there. Holy fuck!
I don't even think he loves drinking. He just loves pints.
Loves pints.
Loves pints. So anyone who wants a pint afterwards, Matt here is their man. Like, you know?
I remember in Dingle, like, here we get some wine with dinner. I was like, no, we'll be having pints. I'm like, right.
Sorry, no, not even in Dingle, right? So we went to Dingle and we text Matt. We were like, come here.
No, I think he texted us at like 11:45 that night, and he was like, he looks like he's having a great time. Can I come down? And in the morning you were there. We were like, yeah, absolutely. But that drive to Dingle's grim.
It's 4.5 hours.
On your own in an air van. You were just like, pints. Pints. But yeah, so how do you celebrate your last day of chemo being like, class, let's go for it?
Well, I mean, I wanted to. I remember going down the road and again, being 20, I had a 21st. It was a Friday night. I had a 21st. And I remember going to the 21st. So I'm there. And I recently, so it was great. And I went back to the house party and like continued on and all that kind of crack. Now it's fucked, but like still, you know, you kind of I felt like I had to like celebrate, do something, push through a small bit. But one of the like, it's funny now, but I reminded a guy of this recently, and like he still cringes. I think we're sitting out the back of the house party. I reminded him of this at a wedding recently. Sitting out the back of the house party, and he looks at me and he goes, he was like, what happened to your hair? And I was like, well, I had chemo and I lost all my hair. And he was like, no, that's not funny. Like, my granny died of cancer. And like, in the end, I ended up having to call somebody over and be like, come here, why don't I have hair? And they were like, because you got chemo? And yeah, I reminded him of this recently, and he was like, oh yeah, no, sorry about that. You know?
Love that. 13 years later, be like, come here, you. With your wife, bring your kids. Come on.
Bring her over.
Say your mother and father-in-law, bring them too.
Do you know what this prick said to me? You know what I mean? But yeah, so that was the crack. And then, I mean, after that, then there's, so I think it was 3 months scan, 6 months scan, yearly then after that, up to about the 5-year mark. And then kind of, you know, you're on your own. I don't actually know statistically if I'm half as likely to like get it again or what the crack is. Like, you know? I'm not really sure how that works.
Like, thank you for actually genuinely sharing that story. Like, that's like, it is actually weird hearing it firsthand from you, because we've spoken about it probably in about a 30-second block. I'm like, geez, I forgot about that. And then like we move on. Yeah,
but that's why it's important, because like, I guess it's not something we massively talk about in Ireland. To be fair, this is for a whiskey kind of tasting drinks thing, this is a reasonably well-balanced room. But yeah, there is a lot of men who, you know, listen, if you want to go home, get into the shower and touch yourself up, that's absolutely fine. All right, just remember that. Like, nobody, I'm giving you permission tonight. So just like roll your fingers across your balls, and like that's what you do. And if you feel a lump, then, you know, tell your local priest
to stop.
He'll that one we rehearsed.
Nailed it.
Yeah, but so I mean that's the story. And so since for the last 2-3 years I've been a Movember ambassador.
Yeah, like you're in like an official Movember ambassador.
They give me a
call
t-shirt,
you do
yeah.
you do like weekends away.
Yeah, they text me. They were like, off the ball or looking for somebody. Do you want it? And I was like, I fucking love off the ball. And
They even give us a list of official Movember speakers that we could interview tonight.
Yeah.
And we said no. Actually, we said we have Darren and you.
yeah.
And they were like, no, we can beat that, and they couldn't.
Yeah, so
Fucking losers.
they did. I mean, to be fair, Greg O'Shea was one of the official speakers. Like, and I mean,
The Love Island guy.
Yeah.
He said no.
He said, well, he wasn't as good at rugby as Darren.
Yeah.
But he was better looking than him. So I'm not sure what way. Like that would have, like the lads would have loved it, but the women, you know, I don't know.
I have never seen Greg O'Shea. I thought that he was also a GAA player for like Sligo or somebody. And Greg O'Shea's on the ball. It's another point for Sligo.
I'm sure he probably is. He's probably for
probably
Kerry.
is, yeah.
Probably for Kerry.
Ah, yeah.
But yeah, so I mean that's kind of the thing, and official Movember ambassador. So anytime they need like media people, news talk, like I've done that a couple of times now at this point.
And you started doing the fundraising for them a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And how much have you raised in 3 years?
Well, the first year was the big one. It was quite a big one. There was 4 of us involved. But since then, like over the last kind of 3-4 years, I think. So we're on course to do about. I'm on course this year to do about $5,000. So it'll be about like 28,000 over the few years.
Unbelievable. And how much of that do you give to the charity?
Like almost all of it.
No. Yeah, tax man.
But yeah, so look, that's the thing, and we're having a bit of crack. It is a serious topic, but it shouldn't be too taboo to talk about. And Movember is in its 20th year, I think, this year. So initially it started as just testicular cancer and prostate cancer, and then in the last couple of years they've also added mental health. And I think there won't be a person in the room who hasn't been touched by one of those kind of like either cancer or mental health generally. So it is what we're saying is when we come around with the raffle tickets at halftime, listen, if you don't donate generously and you believe in hell, you know, that's up to you. So we take both cash and card. But yeah, so that's the kind of whole Movember thing.
Nice. Well, thanks for sharing all of that with us. So what we're going to do now...
Well, yeah, I think one of the most contentious things we have on the podcast, we have a thing called mixed pyramid of snacks. All right, so mixed pyramid of snacks. So for those of you who've seen the show, one of the most contentious things and is
In life, really.
in life. So you're from the north.
I am, yeah.
I'm from the south.
Uh-huh.
And one of the most contentious things we have between the two of us
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Tayto.
is Tayto.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, to be honest, I think if we can solve which one is better tonight, I think maybe
I'd be in Ukraine in the morning solving that shit.
Yeah, Ukraine, maybe into Jerusalem.
Yeah.
You know.
We still haven't found the line, but I'm pushing.
Yeah. Benji, no, calm it down. You know what I mean? But yeah.
But yeah, which is better? Northern Tayto or Southern Tayto? What do we call it? North Tayto? Free Tayto?
Free Stato, yeah.
It's our podcast, lad. Fuck off. So we're gonna. Dan has set up bowls for us. We're gonna choose blind taste test which is better, because on the podcast we've done them both but separately. We've never done them together because none of you have seen the pilot. Because we did it in the pilot.
Yeah, did we do it in the pilot?
Yeah, we did.
The pilot was shite, so we didn't release it. But yeah, and they're like, this is fucking cat too. But yeah, so we're gonna try the Northern Southern Tayto.
And then we're gonna bring some of ye up to try again.
Yeah. So this is the Tayto Tiki challenge. Tayto, Tiki.
Yeah.
All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to decide between us which one is better, and then we're going to get a few of you up from the audience, and we're going to mix them around, and we're going to decide as a group, as a whole, we're going to come to a consensus. So this is something we haven't been able to do on the island, but obviously we're going to do that tonight. All right. So do you want to? We try these?
We
don't know which one.
Will
is
you
which.
jump in, because
Right.
then I can talk, so you know the cameras don't
Here,
jump.
we'll just taste the same one, I suppose.
No, because he's set them up.
Yeah, I
Dan's so annoyed that he was gonna.
know.
do
Okay,
that.
sorry.
So you went for which bowl first?
This one.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's good.
Use some of your taste and lexicon.
There's a bit of flavour there. So I wouldn't say bursting out of it. It's definitely cheese and onion anyway. You can tell that. That's definitely true.
Yeah, did you know the Irish invented cheese and onion crisps?
I did, yeah.
Isn't that mad? I would have thought it would have been the French.
Joe Spud Murphy.
Joe Spud Murphy.
All right, so they're good. Are these good? No. I can already tell you. You see, the problem is now, right? That I also think I know which one's which.
Yeah, you do.
And I also think this one is better.
No way.
I don't know. Now I'm confused again.
Well, you have to decide yours, and then I'll decide mine.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with my initial first impression.
Which is this?
I think it's this one.
Okay.
What are you going for? Because I can tell this is, I can tell which one yours is which one. Like, is that?
No, I don't want to say it because then.
Why can't you say it?
Because I haven't chosen which one's my
Why
favorite.
don't you choose your fucking favorite then?
Last bit. Okay.
Go on. See, I'm going to be very shocked if this isn't free Tayto.
That's definitely the Northern Tayto.
So you're telling me you prefer the Southern Tayto?
I went for the bowl of Southern.
Well, can we look at them, Dan? So you remained loyal, did you?
Oh, the Southern's so pale and undercooked.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Oh, well, there we go.
So we've solved nothing.
We genuinely didn't actually know what they were either.
I had a fair idea. Okay, so let's pull a couple of people up and see what they think. We have to.
Yeah, he doesn't trust us.
Okay, who would like to do it? Who reckons they can tell the difference?
Two sets of two.
Matt, if you don't put your hand up, you're getting pulled up anyway. Like, you know what I mean? Right, yeah. Matt and anyone else? Go on. Hey, come on up. Yeah.
Welcome to the Tayto Tiki Challenge, and it starts now.
Yeah. Right, lads, welcome to the show.
Cheers. Girl, you can snack away.
Matt, you big hungry cunt. Yeah, get into it. So which one did you have there?
The left one.
You had the left one, right? What do you think of the left one? Just generally speaking, you're not comparing it to anything. It's relatively speaking, it's all brand new to you.
It's nice.
Nice.
Nice, good, yeah.
Great tasting word. It's nice. What about yourself? What are we going for?
I started with the right hand side.
You're going to go with the right.
No, he started.
Started off with the right hand side.
And how? Go on, give us a tasting note for the right hand side.
Okay, all right.
They're Tayto, all right, yeah. Very good. Right.
As you can see, lads, doing podcasts is harder than you think. It takes a bit of talent, right?
I feel like this is what market research at the Dole office is. Matt.
Well, there was a smell there.
You got a nose.
A connoisseur, yeah. No, listen.
Drinks professional.
No, that's fine.
These aren't drinks, lad. They're crisps.
Go on, and what about you?
I'm going with this one. There's way more flair on it.
Just want to reveal your left bowls.
Oh, fuck.
The North will rise again. Oh, cheers, boys.
Yeah, get the fuck out. All right, we'll get two more people up.
Dan's brother. Dan asked you to come up.
And
Nepotism.
one more? Anybody else in the crowd? I'm going to fucking pull one of you if you don't.
Frankie,
come on up.
Come on up. Dan's brother, what's your name? Where do you come from?
Shane, Westmeath.
Nice. Shane from Westmeath.
What about yourself? What's your name?
Frankie.
Where are you from, Frankie?
Mary.
Oh, fuck.
So you're into bowl right-hand side?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
It's fine.
It's fine.
Frankie, what about yourself?
Left bowl was a bit weak.
Was a bit weak. Okay, yeah. Interesting. Right bowl?
Tasted exactly the same. Maybe I'm drunk.
What do you think about your second bowl there, Shane?
They're a little bit more fine.
Fine.
No, a bit more fine.
A bit more fine.
These were just fine.
Hey, like, you're a fine young one, like, kind of thing,
I
or?
think so, yeah.
Okay, very good. Frankie, what are you
I
thinking?
think I'm going for this one.
You're going for the right one, yeah? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shane.
So they're very equal.
Nice. Oh, that you should be a politician, lad. You're going with the right as well?
Yeah.
Copycat.
Reveal your bowls.
So
this
you can go now. Thanks. Oh, great.
Cheers, Shane. Good man yourself.
Woo! So have we just conclusively proved that Northern Tayto are better? Is that
Northern Tayto are better by consensus, yeah.
Well, listen, nothing that's done by consensus has ever got through in this country anyway. So, yeah.
So, folks, that is the end of round one. We will be going around with raffle tickets. Feel free to enjoy drinks, smoke, toilet.
So, like, kind of 9 o'clock, if you can kind of take your seats, so run. Go. Now? Yeah? It's fine? No, we're serious. Go. Well, welcome back to part 2, where we, are going to drink some champagne, but, like, whatever.
You're going to have to take this.
I know, yeah.
Welcome to part 2. Darren, come on down, mate. Welcome Darren Cave to the stage. Woo!
Come on in there.
Hello.
So we're tonight we're gonna chase your whiskey with some champagne.
Welcome to showbiz, whiskey and champagne. We'll do the clip. Will we let Darren do the clip? We let guests do that.
So poor decisions, live, take 2.
Poor decisions, live, take 2.
Woo!
That was good. That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a good snap.
Nice.
You got a good snap there, Darren. So Darren, you're probably the most famous person we've had on the podcast.
Yeah, after us, yeah.
Does that say more about me or the podcast?
Do you know what it says? Like we have more we've more people on social media than you do, but I think in real life.
Have you been on my Twitter?
Sorry.
It's not a big
Oh my
deal.
God, Grandad! It's called fucking X. All right. What the fuck's Twitter? Oh.
Be careful. Turn on your 2-factor authentication. My Instagram got stolen. My blue tick got stolen.
Oh really?
Yeah, I had like 200,000 followers. Might have been 10,000.
Well, if you want a heads up, Mick
got stolen.
bought his, so you can just buy a blue tick.
I was thinking I'm gonna buy my blue tick's authentic, but my I think it was about 2,000. But I was thinking I should just buy some. But I'm skint.
There's a fella in Turkey. Will sell them to you. But yeah, so welcome to the show. It's the first time we've ever actually legitimately been able to say welcome to the show, because usually we're in somebody else's pub going, welcome to the show, and they're like, yeah, you're in my fucking pub, pal. Cheers. Sláinte.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, yeah. If you'd all like to raise your glasses of champagne. These commoners.
Fucking peasants. Darren, thank you very much for coming to us and coming on to the show. You are a former Ulster professional rugby player, former Ireland international, turned whiskey baron.
Yeah, that idea got out of control, didn't it?
So we'll roll it back a little bit. We'll go from the start. So tell us a little bit about where you're from. Playing with Ulster since about 2009, was it? Was that around then?
Yeah, it was. I had a decent old rattle at it. I played from about 2008, 2009, right the way through to about 2019, 2020. Got out just in time for COVID when everyone was getting the pay cuts. I was like, absolutely, reduce ticket prices, get the wages down. And this was just genuinely, it was just an idea that got out of control. We saw everything that was happening with Irish, and it's taken us probably, I would say, 3 years this Christmas to get this far.
Nice.
So hopefully you can see how
Only
much
took
hard
us about 6 months, but
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
you know what
Well,
I mean?
I was just about to say it's the only new brand in town. It's the only,
We had less budget and we're not celebrities.
and it was one of my business partner's friends, pal, who's at the back there. Adrian McLaughlin's his name, and we had this yeah, I think it was a good idea. Give me another 18 months, I'll tell you if it's a good idea to get into Irish whiskey. And it was literally one conversation led to another. The next thing we're chatting to the founders of the Dead Rabbit, the world's best bar. And yeah, here we are.
Sorry,
Yeah,
the lads in
second.
McCarran and Dundalk are throwing their hat in the ring there.
The best bar on that side of the pond.
Lads, he's even the best bar in Dundalk, like,
I thought it was in Drogheda. Same thing.
I'm all about Singley curry sauce, you know. Up the town.
That is a really niche joke for listeners of the podcast.
But you don't joke about it. All right.
Yeah.
So like the whiskey is like a big jump, but you still are like in the rugby sphere. You're obviously a pundit. You do a lot of like TV work.
Yes, I was actually at RTE today. That's what I call it now. So D4, so South Dublin. This is the north side. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like
Riots usually. It's usually riots.
Yeah, it was funny. Actually, I was down on Thursday night at an event, and everyone was like, "Oh my goodness, there's riots and the bus is on fire." And I'm like, 12th of July.
Hey, the right crowd for that one.
So there's yeah, it's a long story. We'll not get into it tonight. What was the question?
How's things as a pundit?
Oh yeah, it's do you know what? Not dissimilar to yourself. Just talk absolute shite. Pretend that, and then send an invoice to somebody. And thankfully for me, I send them to RTE, which is absolute play on.
Well, yeah, we've heard they pay a lot. So you can't get paid in flip-flops, huh? What a pity. But no, and you do a sideline as an 80s detective as well, obviously.
We said this on Instagram. I gagged that first. I'm not doing Movember, and then I was down the back, and you got me with it with no microphone.
Yeah, listen.
To defend myself. So
Well, no, feel free now.
well, no. Normally people say, "Oh, you look like an 80s porn star." To which I say, how much 80s porn are you watching at the minute? To which most of my friends say, fucking loads.
Yeah, it's slower broadband up there, so easier to download.
It was like the whiskey. It was an idea that got out of control, and now it was work from home in COVID. Like, work from home, grow mustache, there's fuck all else to do. And then the more aggro it got, the more I thought, like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And here we are.
It's weird how people like just don't like stuff. Like during COVID, you used to do Instagram live broadcast wearing like a tinfoil hat.
Oh yeah.
And people used to give you so much grief, and you were like, "Who cares?" And you just put it back on. They're like, "Oh," and you'd be like, "This is hilarious."
Well, it was protecting me from I don't know, whatever was out there at the time.
The COVID.
yeah, all that crack. RTE was protecting me from RTE and the lizards.
Yeah.
Pat Kenny, the big lizard. But to move it back to the whiskey side of things,
Gary, we have cameras. Don't worry about it. we'll send you that. We'll send you a photo or two.
These are good man, Gary. These are wee cheap ones. That's an iPhone. It's called.
That's an iPhone 10 here.
Yeah.
We have them in the
The
north.
ones with the coloured backs.
But yeah, so you actually do like whiskey?
Getting there. Genuinely, 3 years ago, it was the hype train I wanted on, not the. And I'd say the opportunity to work with Sean Muldoon and in particular Gillian Foes, who, if any of you don't know, you will know soon. And so it's very interesting when it comes to the blend. My input was collecting Gillian at the airport and driving her to GND, which I think's in Drogheda or Dundalk. I forget which one it is. Same thing. It's between Belfast and Dublin. I did that 2 or 3 times, and she would say to me, "Oh, what do you think of that? And can you taste the flavors?" And I was like, "Yeah, it tastes like whiskey." Yeah.
And
which
it
is
does.
good.
Which is, listen,
It's
as
the-
a first
it's
step on
normally-
the road, that's excellent. Like, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't say it's a USP, but I would say it'll help it on the shelf.
Because I remember you slid into my DMs one time.
What about the whiskey?
And because we used to train together. Yeah, I used to just train with like rugby players all the time. Yeah.
He goes all right as well. You wouldn't, when you look at him, you wouldn't think it.
Have you not heard about his Iron Man? No.
I have actually. It was bloody impressive.
So this year I ran an Ironman. That's a 4 kilometer 4 kilometer swim, 180
Come here,
kilometer bike
did you
ride,
do-
and a marathon.
Did you do the 4 kilometer
Your
swim?
mic
Sorry.
not working.
Did you do the 4 kilometer swim? Did you? Dan, have you cut my mic again?
Hopefully. But yeah, so we trained together, and then I remember one day you just kind of messaged me, and you're like, "Here, any chance of like a whiskey thing?" I might actually pull that out. A whiskey thing, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And you're like, "I might be bringing out a whiskey," and that was probably a year and a half ago.
Yeah, that's how long it's taken. It's mad. You guys know you're in the whiskey game.
Yeah.
Problems with suppliers.
We are the whiskey game. Don't be playing no game.
Problem with suppliers, problem with securing liquid. There's labeling problems that we're currently dealing with for the American bottle. Problems about problems. Yeah. So, but here it is, and it tastes great.
Well, I mean, we haven't
which you're just about to tell us.
Has everybody got? Nobody, as people haven't got one yet. So maybe if we'll pass them around.
Yeah. While we'll just have more champagne and talk to Darren. Here, what was it like being an Irish rugby player? Like, was it class crack?
Who drinks the most pints on that team? I reckon it's Tig Furlong and Sean O'Brien.
Do you know what? It's changed a lot. It used to be social media, same as everything. It used to be after games was a free for all, lads. Like, I remember after games getting a taxi back to the house, bombing it back to the house in the car, but ordering a taxi to bring us into town.
You can't say bombing down here from the north. Come on.
Everyone's getting edgy again. Like, one Lewis on fire, like, in the whole. It's no big deal.
We did that to ourselves. That's fine.
Pinch. We're recording. I forgot it wasn't just.
No, listen. This is
how many million people are watching at home?
There's at least 12. Everybody who actually watches is actually here.
Frankie doesn't even watch.
So there'll be a few. There'll be a few guys that'll be fond of a few tipples. I don't know if I want to
start naming names.
Names.
He will later on.
I will for but a certain ex-Ireland captain who may or may not have been from the north of Ireland. He had only slightly less hair than us. But he was fond of a he was fond of a whiskey, actually. He'd be a good guest. Obviously not as high profile as me, but
a good guest, good client. Yeah, customer, right?
Yeah. But so I think that's
was it class crack? Like, obviously, it's a lot of people's dream to play for their country as a professional sports star. Like, was that just like unbelievable when you kitted out for Ireland and you actually 11 times?
It's funny. The biggest game I played in was at the Rugby World Cup in 2015, and it was at Wembley, and it was sold out, and there was 90,000 people there. And I don't have any memories of it in like first person. Do you know what I mean? So when I think back of that day, and I think of like 90,000 people and Ireland's call and all these things, I can't remember what it feels like to stand there and look at 90,000 people singing it. But it's very, very bizarre. I mean, it was pretty cool. We got
and you did
the World Cup. I remember was very, very cool. And listen, it is different. Like, especially being from the rugby community in the north and like coming down and playing for Ireland, like it's weird.
Is it?
Yeah, it's weird because you're standing there for Aranavine and like genuinely, like, you don't know the words, but you're like, this is cool because this is my, like, and I think this is my anthem. Yeah, but you don't know the words, and it's like it's very, very strange. But you still feel that sense of
pride and yeah.
Because I genuinely remember. I remember Ireland played England in Croke Park in the first game, and we were at it. And there was a load of lads in Ireland jerseys singing "God Save the Queen," and it took me a good 45 seconds to realise what the fuck was going on. Like, you know what I mean? But obviously, so it is obviously cross border and whatever. But
and whatever, it's progress, man.
Yeah. But the other thing is, you were the most capped player for Ulster until very recently.
Yeah.
How's that feel now?
Were you raging?
Were you raging? Were you?
Yeah, it's Yeah, so I was overtaken about 2 weeks ago. You're very up to date.
Was
that the most when you Google News Me? Was
that
the most,
no. To be fair, that was the first thing that popped up. Like,
he was a
Darren
bit of a
Cave
has-been.
fucking raging an Ulster player.
Listen, it is what it is. Records are made to be broken. Actually, do you know what? I'm fucking raging about it.
Yeah.
I was about to. Yes, thank you. Most cap back. Nice. In rugby, there's forwards and backs.
Your fucking Wikipedia pages here.
It's not a rugby podcast.
Now, does everybody have a whiskey in front of them? Yeah. Okay, excellent.
Amazing.
So we can start talking about the whiskey. So, Outwalker, where does the name come from?
Not me, because what I'm good at is not being creative, but knowing people that are creative. And originally the name, I suppose it was just a name that we liked.
Yeah.
And my first thought when I saw it was like a relation to like the White Walkers. Game of Thrones is very big at the time. What I really liked about it was the kind of, if you look at society and Irish society and like being an outwalker and being like
This is getting deep.
different to the, well, not as you were talking about having cancer 5 minutes ago. I'm not allowed to talk. I'm
glad you were fucking listening, you know what I mean?
I'm not allowed to. Well,
Nice.
I was disappointed when the story started. So I'm in this nightclub in Galway, and that was when I found out that one of my balls was bigger than the other. I thought the story was going, so I'm in the toilets with this.
No,
I
we
was
missed
about
it.
to
We missed
say-
it in the front row. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Someone flicked me in the dick. I was like, what age were you? 12? Anyway.
See, lads, it's not that funny, is it? Yeah. I didn't flick myself in the dick, like, you know.
Can I just apologise to everyone for, like, after somebody pours their heart out about getting chemotherapy and having testicular cancer, and I, for 10 seconds, talk about how the whiskey was named. So, sorry for making it too serious, lads.
Will you fucking get on with it anyway, will you? No, so sorry.
So yeah, that was it. And the whiskey in general, as you've seen, and you guys know with brand, we wanted to be modern Ireland. We didn't want to be old school, like, Peat Fire, Paddy Cap. We wanted to be new, and that was where it came from, Outwalker. And it's this idea that people now are sort of flipping the bird to society. That was where the name came from, and that was where the story started.
Yeah, so 44.5% ABV as well. So nice bit of punch to it as well.
Yeah.
And I was actually hoping that you were going to tell me about the flavour notes, because you're the expert, although yours is going to taste like cheese and onion. So thanks for mauling.
No, my taste notes are going to taste like an invoice.
Just like cash.
Ronan learned a new word.
I know. What do you do with an invoice?
So if you all want to take a little sip, I mean, you can smell it as well, like, you know.
But it does have like a lovely nectary, classic vanilla nose on it.
Definitely, you can get the bourbon cask from it, like, you know, a little bit of toasted oak, the vanilla. I think the 44.5%, the extra, like, so generally you're drinking whiskey at 40%, so the extra little bit of percentage definitely makes a difference.
Yeah, so it's a bit like in cooking, sugar, salt, fat, acid carry flavour, as does alcohol. And once, like all of those things, they can be overdone and unbalance a dish, or they can be done properly. And alcohol can carry flavour when it's balanced correctly.
I didn't know you were smart.
Wikipedia. I just
Where's your book?
I just read Dave Broom's. That's what he said.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like, not everything has to be released at cast strength. Not everything has to be like punching in the face with flavour. I think we're in a room here where a lot of guys are, you know, and a lot of people are into their whiskey, are into their like punchy whiskey and whatever. But I think there's always going to be a place for something that's, you know, just a very easy drinking sipper. Like, this is lovely.
Yeah, and we, like I say, Gillian and I, when I was driving the car to GND with Gillian, she even sat in the back and made me wear gloves for driving her around. We kept chatting about versatility. We wanted to be something like, with Gillian's experience in cocktails, we wanted to be something that people would use in cocktails. We wanted to be something that people would drink neat, and we think we've done an okay job of trying to do that. So you've got it neat tonight.
And one of the elements that's in this, from hearing Gillian speak about it, is there's a white burgundy cask finished whiskey in this, which I actually give you credit for not saying you're the first, like, publicly who have done it, but I'm pretty sure
Maybe not intelligent enough to say.
But here, do you know what I'll
take your word for it.
Do you know what I rate every whiskey on?
I know, and I'm dying to see it.
Will we do it now?
Yes. Mick, can we get the sound really good for this? Because
So for those of you unfamiliar with
There's no one here.
please stop living under that rock.
So for those of you unfamiliar with Ronan, Whiskey for Breakfast is his main channel, and he does Whiskey Wednesdays, and he judges every bottle based on its pop. It may not be the most scientific or accurate way in order to judge a whiskey, but Fuck it, it's his. How we doing? All right.
Yeah.
Outwalker. This is they're basically said that we're going to treat this as our launch in Dublin.
Yeah, grand. So
And I'm so fucking sorry for them.
I hope it's good. I'm kind of ready to go here.
So, well, I do it like I would do it on the YouTube at it's Ronan TV. All right, so we're okay, folks. So before we actually try Outwalker, don't forget to like and subscribe. But before we try, the most important thing about a whiskey is to rate that pop. So here we go. Nice.
Tap that up there. That's very good.
Nice. That was a big like.
That was unbelievable.
It was like loading a tank.
Producer Dan played a blinder there with the noise there. He just got it right up. I don't know if that came off a keyboard or something. But
Price point, kind of availability. Am I asking? Anyway, am I asking the wrong man?
price, yes, you are. Well, we're just about to, if we're not in stock with Celtic whiskey and Irish malt right this absolute second.
Down the back there. Tom, are they in stock? Okay.
He's leading you on.
It was delivered today, so there you go. Get online and buy it.
Going from Ulster, Ireland, you had a thing with a coffee shop, and now whiskey. You happy? Feel like things are going well?
I think I'm happy. I think so. My daughters are 2 and 4. I wouldn't mind a bit more sleep, but I can't blame the whiskey for that, really. I actually loved, gag after gag from you tonight, but the hospitality one in particular. I used to own a few coffee shops, which for a while was amazing, and then it wasn't that amazing. Hospitality's not easy, just for anyone out there who's wondering. Guys, you guys up in Drogheda, you know all about it.
You're laying on thick with that joke the last
We'll
time.
get a laugh every time.
No, I think they're in RD. I think that's where they are.
Anyway, yeah, it's kind of something that I'm quite passionate about. I always think with these things, like if it's not a huge success, that's obviously the number one goal. You're trying to learn, always trying to upskill yourself, be better, making decisions and business and all that kind of stuff. And I think we are in it for, when I say the long haul, the goal is not to flog a load of cases year one and make a few quid and sail off.
Make that note.
We're trying to build a brand that's around, and you do a launch, and of course you're like everyone's talking about you because you're brand new. But these conversations, distribution, and partners, and people are going to help us trying to get it on shelves is really important. So we're really busy with that at the minute.
And it's a bit of crack. Like, worst comes to it when you're like, Dad, why are we broke? You're like, I tried to set up a whiskey company.
Yeah.
Like, that is class if you have kids that you
Shut
say
up
that
and drink
to
your Irish coffee.
for
Shut up and
breakfast.
have a swig anyway. Like.
And when it comes to coffee shops, so producer Agostina, who's just walked in, there she is there.
Somebody actually commented to me earlier. They were like, I'm surprised how small Agostina is in person. Like, you know what I mean? Which,
Because she's got such a big personality, because the last time you were seen on the podcast channel, you were telling Mick to shut up.
Yeah, which, to be fair...
That day was tense. Even Dan and I were like, oh, what are you doing? Oh. He edited it like it was fun. It
wasn't fun, no. I apologise for about a week afterwards, like, No, it's okay.
Producer Agostina is part of Alma. If anyone knows Alma in Dublin, it's a fucking class coffee shop. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
Brunch spot, yeah. Yeah. She made me a flat white earlier, and it was great.
Yeah, she did some latte art. It was great.
So, what's the end goal? Where's next? What are you going to do next?
Well, hopefully hang around for the whiskey for a few years.
Nice.
And then who knows? Well, it won't be long. It's funny when you're starting up and everyone's talking about cash flow. We're going to manage
What's
cash
that?
flow. Yeah, don't worry about it. You have to invoice. you have to invoice to get it. But with this, you're starting and like it's not cash flow, it's cash burn, right? Because you're not selling anything. So that's the next part of it. How long can we go before we run out of money? At that stage, your decisions make. Do you look for funding? Do you go again yourselves? So right now, it's about trying to get the distribution partners in place and trying to sell some.
Nice. We have a couple of minutes for if there's any questions for Darren.
Yeah, anyone have a question for Darren? Whiskey, coffee, rugby related? No?
Please.
Anyone? Heineken Cup finals? Anything like that? No.
No. 50 points that day.
Did you?
No. For Leinster.
Oh, he knew.
Like, at what stage did you get involved, Darren? Were you there from the start and just come in like with a load of money, you know, a couple of weeks in?
I don't know if I'm flattered or insulted. Part of me is like, he thinks I'm loaded. That's great. And then, yeah, I'm a bit insulted as well because actually the truth is I'm fucking skint. It was genuinely most of the legwork since day one has been done by one of my original partners up there, Adrian McLaughlin. I mentioned him earlier. But I believe on the very first day, it was my very single idea. From day one, I've been there.
Can we get Adrian a mic right now?
Listen, there was a couple of people involved along the way. Basically, I was like, let's do a whiskey. Made a few phone calls, and here we are. No, to answer your question, yeah, I've been involved from the start, and obviously that's a challenge. Is there hasn't been hundreds of thousands of quid poured into it because we don't have it. So like that's the big challenge for a startup, right? So no, and yeah, flattered that you think I'm loaded. Nice. But I'm not.
Fuck it, another question from RD there. Yeah, what?
Are you looking for any investing opportunities at the moment?
The lads are going to send you a pitch deck now in about 10 minutes.
No, I told you I'm skint. Yeah.
Anything not related to Darren's money? Anyone else? Jack?
Were you into whiskey beforehand, or was it just something that interested in the last couple of years?
No, I don't know if it was like just getting older and times change and you get, because like even 10 years ago I wouldn't have had a coffee and then I got into coffee and then you get into craft beer. That's the journey, isn't it? You go coffee, craft beers, and then you're like, yeah. I know I skipped gin. I missed that when I was still on the craft beers, and then the bubblegum IPAs came out and I was like, fuck this, we're out. So no, I wasn't always into it. And to be honest with you, it's still something like I'm not an expert. Which you'll probably be surprised to hear after listening to me for the last 10 minutes.
I feel like Joe Schmidt here. Yeah, question in the corner here.
You mentioned that the whiskey is something to be enjoyed neat and with cocktails. Do you have a favourite cocktail?
Do you know what? I really enjoyed the first cocktail. Should I say this? I really enjoyed the first cocktail we got tonight.
Yeah, it was like a walnut and PX Pedro Jimenez sherry old fashioned
From Driscolls Irish
I did
whiskey.
like it.
If anyone wants to.
I did like it.
It's very reasonably priced. It's available in Celtic Whiskey Shop right now.
No, I prefer it neat.
Very good. Yeah, so nice old fashioned.
Yeah, nice old fashioned. That was good. Yeah.
Jenny.
Age statement, mash bill, casks, any of that?
Oh my goodness.
all the questions we weren't allowed to ask.
Ronan, will you answer these questions for me?
I think you're 70% green, aged in bourbon, and then there is 20% malt or 30% malt split across white burgundy and sherry.
Does that sound right, Gary? Sure. I thought it was 40, 40, 10, 10.
Double grain of oak and rye, 40% each, and then the single malt and ex-burgundy 10, and then the sherry part still 10.
Yeah.
And I'll
40,
say
40, 10, 10 was all I knew. Was I right? Thank you. Very tricky question. Any easier questions? That'll maybe do us well.
Veno.
Frankie.
Veno. Oh.
Mine's quite a technical question. Sergeant, and is the moustache real?
I like that. Witty. Peel it off there. It is real, yes. 4 years young, and I did not go. I don't think it's going anywhere. Just getting too much aggro.
It's very full.
Like a young Ned Flanders.
Do you know what?
Feels like we're nothing
after,
at all.
after
Damn sexy Flanders.
4 years. That's the first. I think that's the first original gag I've heard in 18 months. So fair play. I definitely owe you a drink for that one.
Oh, fuck it. What did the boys in Dundalk have to say?
Last but not least, what's the most consistent point in Dublin?
I'd have to say, right, the most consistent point in Dublin is probably Kyo's, is it? Bambino, Unamas, Kyo's, Bambino. It's a thing in Dublin. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
I'm not worried.
Any other questions before we kind of wrap up?
Is there any plans for a pirate brand ambassador?
I don't care how fucking big you are, Jack. I'll come back there and I'll pull the head off you, alright?
It took me ages to get that joke because I forgot about it, but that's hilarious.
So Darren, before we kick Darren off the stage,
Darren, you pull a few raffle tickets, yeah?
I would love to.
Here, that is some wedding ring. Jesus.
Yeah, it's I don't know if you noticed, but I train in the gym a lot. So
do, yeah.
You know.
I couldn't keep up.
so what the wedding rings?
Yeah, so
right.
so I train in the gym a lot, so I got divorced. No, because
probably-
obviously I'm trying to get myself a decent nick.
Aye. Maybe you got divorced because your wedding ring's rubber and you take it off.
I thought you were going to say it was made of stone. Just to sum up, I suppose.
Yeah, here, Darren, thank you so much for not knowing when you were meant to leave the stage.
Just to thank you very much. I think just from a quick glance there, we raised about 800 euro from the raffle. All right, so on top of about 1,700 euro for the actual tickets to begin with. So it puts us about 2.5 grand. So for me, that puts me over about 5 grand for Movember generally. So I'd just like to say thank you very much. That means a lot to me. All right.
Yeah. So people winning in the raffle, but just being here tonight, you've all
In the real sense, you're all winners.
Yeah. And for those who didn't win, like your prize will be in heaven. You know? But no, it was a great. This was our first ever live podcast, so thank you so much for being the early adopters. You know, this is the feeling that people got who
Don't say
invested
his
in
name.
Apple.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So thank you so much to everyone who bought tickets tonight and donated to the raffle. Mick, thank you so much for putting it together and bringing us all together from Movember.
Listen, thank you very much for everyone for being here. I think we've raised a lot of money for Movember. We've raised a lot of money for my balls. And I'm just really thankful to everybody.
And drink sponsors, thanks so much to Driscolls. We had White Hag.
We had White Hag. We had Dead Rabbit.
We had Steph from the Dead Rabbit. We also had an impromptu beer from Mocara.
Yeah, we had an impromptu beer. We had Outwalker and we Rebel City as well, which was important to say was the last one.
Which will be the last cocktail of the evening. And thanks to everyone who donated to the raffle as well. It genuinely meant a lot. It raised a lot of money for this evening. And Darren, thank you so much for coming and chatting to us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries, man. So, lads, if you want to kind of finish up and get the fuck out, because we need to clean up.
There is one more cocktail for this evening, but this isn't an all-night party.
All right, so thank you very much once again. Cheers, guys. Cheers.